Sunday. It's going to be the coaches show. We got a couple of players here to talk today too. It's week 1 of the 2020 Mexia Black Cat season. Second week of our coaches show, brought to you by Greer Media Time, Mexia Sports Network. Our first guest this afternoon, we're going to have BJ Sunday. I want to thank BJ for coming out. He's a senior this year. He's a running back, backup quarterback, and linebacker for the Black Cats this year. BJ, my first question is, it's your senior year. What's it been like for you so far in the past month, being a little different than normal?
Yeah, it has been different, but honestly, my senior year, I've just been like what Coach Abraham's telling us to do, just trust every process and do all that. So I've been doing everything full speed and as hard as I can, just have the best senior year.
That's the biggest thing is when you're a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior, you're always like, man, I got next year. But this year is it for y'all. And last week, y'all come out and was a little sluggish on the offensive side, picked it up in the second half. But on defense, y'all kept hustling and stayed in there. What is the side that you enjoy the most playing, the offensive side or the defensive side?
I think the defensive side. And the defensive side, it just gets my adrenaline going, makes me just feel good. Everything out there, it's fun.
Well, has learning the new offense and defense been tough for you being your senior year?
Yeah, it's been tough, but like I said, I'm still just trusting it. Still like everything I can do just to get better at learning what I'm doing.
Well, I know not having spring, being able to learn in the spring, not being able to do much in the summer, it's been tough, but the biggest thing coaches want you to do is not to think and react. Where are you at in that stage so far this year after such a slow start of getting to transition into the new coaching style?
I'm probably still more on the thinking side, just trying to get everything down, but at the same time I am just reacting to stuff and just going off the clock.
Well, you had a great game last week. I called your name a lot of times, being in there on tackles. When it comes time for you to make that statement play on the defense, where are you at? What situation are you thinking on that? Or each player you want to do that? Or hey, it's 3rd and 4, I've got to be in there right now?
I mean, every play I'm always thinking like I gotta be there. I think that's with the whole defense. Everybody thinks like we gotta be there on the ball, stop that no matter what. No game yards or nothing.
Well, that's what it takes. So, last question for you: what are you expecting out of this year as a team, and something that you want to do for yourself in football, knowing that this is your last year?
I'm just looking for the team to be even closer. We've been playing for years, and we're all close, but it'd be good for us to just get even closer, and then also be successful and win games, just go as far as we can in playoffs.
Well, as coaches say, every week's a new week. You got to take one week at a time. Last week, y'all come in, was one of the best games I've called in the last couple of years. Was really exciting. Y'all come on strong. BJ, I look forward to watching you and calling more games this year. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
And y'all go get it this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll go to a sponsor break and we'll be right back. Black Cat Coaches Show 2020.
Big Drip offers a variety of the latest styles of urban clothing, serving boys and men of all sizes from toddlers to 6XL. Big Drip Fashion Hall is guaranteed to meet all of your fashion needs. Come check us out, 1335 East Milam Street in Mexia, across from Hibbett Sports.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Mexia Sports Network, featuring Rear Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, Subway, Joe Fridays, Elizabeth C. Ferrari Realtor, and Big Drip Fashion Hall.
I think some of y'all back week 1 Coaches Show 2020. We got another senior Black Cat here in Jarrell Wiley. Jarrell, I want to thank you to the Coaches Show. Just want to ask you a few questions here, kind of like we did BJ. But want to get your perspective as a senior, being a lot different this year. How have you approached this year different than you approached in the years past?
This year I would approach it as you don't know when your last game is, so you got to play every snap like your last, because with all the corona going around, all this stuff, you don't know what game is your last game, really. So you got to play every snap hard.
Well, I can tell you, in the years past, what we seen was you running from defenders and looked like you were shot out of a rocket, and there wasn't nobody gonna catch you. But Wallace and I were talking last week. It was a different call last week when we're like, Wiley on the tackle, Wiley in the hole. What was it like playing defense for the first time on a regular basis last week?
It's been a while since I played defense, but I mean, it feels good to be out there with my boys, to bring out my inner dark side, you know, bring out my more aggressive side, being on every play that I can, just racking up more stats for my name.
Well, I have a question here for you. Whether you what would you rather have happen? You score an 80-yard touchdown, or you hit the guy in the hole and stuff him for a 1-yard loss?
Both of them sound good, but I'd rather have a touchdown.
The touchdown, everybody wants the glory. Everybody wants to be able to throw their hands in the air. Yeah. What has the new transition to the new offense and the new defense been like for you?
Going from a spread to a wing tee, it's been tough as a whole, but I mean, just the coaches, they've been coaching us great to come together and just learn it and build up on it. I mean, it ain't really been a problem. We just need to keep practicing, keep getting reps. We didn't have a scrimmage yet. That was our first game. So, I mean, it's going to get better throughout the season.
Oh, that was for sure. You could tell a difference in the first half and the second half.
Yeah.
The aggressiveness. Y'all seemed in the first half to be a little passive. In the second half, y'all pinned y'all's ears back, and whether it was a linebacker or a safety, somebody was getting hit on every play. What do you want to take out of this senior season as a player and as a teammate for the rest of the year?
As a player, I just want to be a great teammate to my team, do whatever I can for us to go 16 weeks, 17 weeks, however many weeks we can go as a team. And as our whole team together, I want them to just have the same mindset as me, to go out there and just be a ball player. Everybody that had the same mindset to go out there and win, have a winning mindset.
Well, we really enjoyed it last week. We're looking forward to getting in the W column this week. It was an awesome game to watch y'all out there. Y'all played really well on both sides of the ball. It was a little slacking. And when I say slack, it was slow because y'all didn't have preseason. Like you said, it was your first game. They had already hit somebody. You didn't have the chance for spring ball, so it was good to see y'all out there. And the biggest thing was very accommodating was y'all never gave up. You got down big and y'all just fought back and play here and play there, and the next thing you knew, you had a chance to win it on the last drive. Don't always go our way, but you learn from those experiences. What did you learn from that experience coming down to the end where you got that chance?
We've been in games like that before where we just kept playing 4 quarters. We can't put our head in the dirt and just beat ourselves up. We just got to keep playing, be the Black Cats that we know we are, and just keep fighting to the end of the game, play all 4 quarters.
Well, Jarrell, thank you for your time. Look forward to a big year from you.
Yes, sir.
We'll have you back again later in the year, hopefully. Hopefully we're going to go 17 more weeks and have you back, and we'll be talking about going to Dallas Cowboys Stadium playing. We'll be in Jerry World. It's Jarrell's World, is that right? Take it easy, bud. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. We're going to go to a sponsor break, and we'll be back with Coach Abram and Wallace High.
Mexia Sports Network will to our sponsors. Some may know and some may not know this business is funded by the owner and co-owner. However, we do offer sponsorships during sports seasons. When you sponsor a spot on the Mexia Sports Network, you get advertisement during live games. Also, your sponsorship assists in obtaining shirts for our announcers and equipment that is used to bring you better services. Thank you all to past and present for your support. Tonight's game is sponsored by Mexia Sports Network. Rear and Rear Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, Subway, Joe Fridays, Elizabeth C. Ferrari Realtor, and Big Drip Fashion Hall.
Big Drip Fashion Hall is now open in Mexia. Big Drip offers a variety of the latest styles of urban clothing, serving boys and men of all sizes from toddlers to 6XL. Big Drip Fashion Hall is guaranteed to meet all of your fashion needs. Come check us out. 1335 East Smiling Street in Mexia, across from Hibbett
Ready
Sports.
gets the little back goats over there when we get back. All right, we're back here at Joe Fridays. Want to thank Stephen for letting us have Coach's Show here in week 1 of Black Cat 2020. We're here with Coach Abram and Wallace High. Wallace, I'm going to let you start out with the questions this week, and we just want to thank Coach Abram for joining us again this week.
All right. Hey, Coach. So we got our week 1 in, which in a typical season is usually about week 3 after a couple scrimmages and, a little work in 2-a-days and everything. But we kind of compiled all that into 2 or 3 weeks, and then had our test run during our first actual game. So we called the game. We saw some things through the game, which are pretty much expected, with you, this being your first year here and implementing your system and not getting much time to implement your system. So can you kind of tell us like some good things you saw from it as far as the guys picking up, what the offense is supposed to look like, the game plan you all had for the game, and then we'll get to some of the other things.
Okay. Yes, sir. First and foremost, I'm just as competitive as the next person. I hate to lose more than I love to win. So I don't take losing very well. But with that being said, there were a lot of obvious things taking place during the game, especially in the first half, that when you have a scrimmage, you realize, well, these are things that we need to work on, opposed to in the first half of a football game, whenever you have pretty much, your stadium is at its social distancing capacity, as well as you got film crews everywhere, and you're trying to pick up and move forward with all that publicity. But with that being said, I have nothing but positive, because these young men, first of all, let's go back to late December or January, whenever it was, whenever Coach Sandoval left. So Coach Sandoval leaves. I get hired. I come in. Well, I'm with them for 6 days. 6 days, and then COVID hits, and there goes that. And we don't get to be together again until the first week of June. So in that time frame, no, we're not able to work out together. No, we're not able to really start getting on the field and implementing what we would like to do offensively and defensively. You can have all the Zoom meetings you want to, but it's a totally different aspect whenever you're out there and you're moving around and you're trying to figure out what you're doing offensively and what you're doing defensively, and so we were definitely behind the 8 ball, coming in. We lose our scrimmage. So there goes an opportunity again to see us in action, and offensively to see us in action, defensively for the kids to understand what our expectations are on a Friday night, and kind of how the process goes on a Friday night from our eyes. So again, we're on the field and we're having to figure this out all together at the same time. We're almost, and I hate to use this phrase, but we're almost in a lose-lose situation, because of the fact that we have all these things going against us, and then stepping on the field is at that point in time the number 13 ranked team in their classification, and they're a program team. So here we are stepping on the field for the first time, trying to run a totally different offense than these guys are used to, a similar defense than what they're used to, or than what they've done in the past, but still all new. So from a defensive standpoint, what happened Friday night was expected for me. I mean, that's what I expect. I'm a former defensive coordinator, so not knocking defensive coaches, but I mean, if you can get them lined up and tell them to go play fast, then you're probably gonna slow a lot of people down. Offensively, though, now that's a whole nother animal, and that's really my has been my big takeaway from this, and it's no secret. I mean, I listened to y'all's broadcast, and I heard the statements, and I mean, to me, everybody saw it. Yes, we struggled up front, but you got to understand, we're running an offense that these guys, since 2015, since they were in 7th grade, these guys have run nothing but the spread offense. Spread offense is a finesse style offense. What we're asking them to do is to be totally different from what they've done for 5 years. For 5 years. So that means that whenever we snap the ball, I need for that D lineman to be 1.5 yards to 2 yards further back than what he was opposed to in a spread. And nothing against the spread guys, and I know Jeremy loves the spread, but you know, to me, this is what I think about the spread. I think the spread is for nothing but show. I think that it's flashy. You know, everybody likes the spread because it's sexy. But when it's all said and done, to me, football is what we're playing and what we're doing offensively. And whenever you can learn to come off the ball and dominate that person in front of you, then you know that's whenever in my mind, you know, defensively, I think we've picked it up. We didn't do it, you know, consistently, but we're picking it up, and we're being a lot more aggressive than we are offensively. But in the second half of the game, the offensive line kind of started to figure it out, and we did start to get that push, and we started to get a little bit of understanding. But you know, just a little bit more about, you know, these guys and kind of what we're trying to do with them this season and trying to get it done as quickly as possible. But going back to the offense, you know, again, they've been spread since 7th grade. You know, again, it's finesse. It's totally different. The offensive lineman's job in the spread offense, honestly, is just getting that D lineman's way and to let that running back do his thing, right? Well, unfortunately, whenever you play somebody that's just as good as you are, they're probably going to beat you if you don't understand the concept of being dominant to that defensive lineman. Whenever I'm just used to zoning and just getting in his way and letting Jarrell do what he does, then okay, Jarrell's going to do what he does. But again, whenever you start playing those really good teams, especially, you know, deep in the playoffs, then I mean everybody's that good, you know. So you know, some things that I you know kind of wanted to point out with this is that, number one, again, this is what they've done their entire life. They don't know anything different. So, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time for us to get moving offensively. Number two, you know, just looking at Mexia, okay? Looking at Mejia's history. And we're going to go from the history since these guys have been playing football since 7th grade, since 2015 in Mexia, okay? In the spread offense, Mejia's win-loss record is 24-31. Okay, 24-31. That's a 43.64% winning percentage. All right, that's below 500. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the next thing is, since these guys have been playing football in Mexia has never made it past the second round of the playoffs. As a matter of fact, you want to go even further, Mexia hadn't gone past the second round of the playoffs since 2001. That's 19 years ago. They weren't even born. You know what I'm saying? So even more, in the past 5 years in our classification, only one spread team has won the state championship in the past 5 years in our classification. Every other team that's won is doing something similar to what we do. All right? So in saying all that, you know, my thought process is, to get something you never had, you got to be willing to do something you've never done. And you can't keep, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So why should I come in and run the spread offense and be okay with 7-4 or 7-5? That's mediocre to me. I'm not okay with that. I want to be dominant. I want these guys to understand what it means to play in Thanksgiving. I want these guys to understand what it means whenever someone says there's no turkeys after Thanksgiving, and the teams to remember play in December. You know what I'm saying? Right. So to me, we're trying to change the culture with these guys in a short amount of time, and in order to do that, you know, we feel like we got the majority of them bought in consistently, but I'm going to be honest, there are some external factors that we know are getting in their ear, and it kind of infiltrates their locker room, and it's starting to, you know, and it can start to unfortunately affect these seniors in their senior year. So my request from this community is to buy in, because some beautiful things can take place if we get buy-in, because we saw it happen again versus the number 13 ranked team in the state without a scrimmage in the second half of a football game. You know, so that's really my request in this whole deal.
And I agree with you, because I mean, I'm a big guy. I played in the early 2000s here, and I mean, we ran pro style to get down, and my job was to whoop whoever's across the line
That's
from
exactly
me
right.
face, and
That's exactly
that's what
right.
I did a lot.
Yes.
so
Yes.
I personally like smash mouth football.
Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of flair, because when I went to college, I got to line up and run routes and catch passes.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, I like that aspect of it too. But as you said, changing what you've done for so long does take a while to adjust, and that was one of the things that I took away from the game on Friday is from the first half to the second half. It seems like we grasped the concept so much more, and we started to look better and move the ball and make things happen. And the other thing is, we looked like we were in a whole lot better shape than Cameron was in that in the second half of that game.
That's one of those things that these guys Monday through Wednesday. I know that they truly probably hate me at times, but that's one thing that I want us to take pride in, and that's what you're saying, Wallace. I totally agree with. Is that I feel like that's part of the reason why we were able to keep ourselves in that game. Because the fight that they showed, man, I'm just telling you, I've watched the game I don't know how many times, and we lost the stinking game, and I'm smiling at how hard these guys are still playing. We go down 21 in the second quarter and don't do anything else, and then they come out the second half and it's like it's 0-0. Here we are, and to see them do that and then continue to show that fight, and then look up in the fourth quarter and Yo has several guys going down cramping, and we have one, and I whispered in his ear when I went out there a few things that he didn't want to hear, because that's not what we do. We're not going to cramp. We're going to be in better shape than anybody, because in the fourth quarter, I hate to use this phrase, but we're going to put our foot on your throat and we're going to choke you out, because we can still go, and you probably hadn't worked hard enough to do that.
And that's one thing you did bring up last week was you're not going to let a team outwork your team, and you're not going to let someone outwork yourself. Mm-hmm. And that definitely showed itself clearly last week. It was an awesome game to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. As a coach, as fans, we want to win.
Oh, yeah.
But as a coach, I want to ask you, just a couple of times like there where we could have kicked a field goal. Mm-hmm. Of course, I know you want to show your will and you want to run in there. What is your thinking in that situation as a coach on, hey, if I kick this field goal, I'm still down 2, mm-hmm. but maybe as long as the legs I have, I can win at the end? Or is it just I just want to show my will and win this, knowing that this is just a preseason game?
What's really funny with you asking that question is Coach Draper asked me before the game. He said, "Hey, Coach, so on the chart, when do you want me to say whatever?" I said, "Draper, I don't care about that chart. I don't care about that kick chart." I said, "I'm kind of I'm a defensive guy. I'm going to go off gut, and I'm going to make decisions off gut." And my gut on Friday night was that I need for this football team to understand that my expectations are whenever I want you to get a first down, and go stink and get the first down. I don't care how far away it is. So from a fan standpoint, it may be, man, that coach is a stinking idiot, and I probably am. But with that being said, with my guys, I want them to know that I believe in them and I trust them. And until you can do it consistently and you start believing in yourself, I'm going to keep putting you in that position to show yourself that you can do it. And then again, just watch the great things happen.
And that makes a lot of sense, because what you said earlier, your mentality, you're changing a whole mentality of something that what we've been doing for 20 years. I guess, when I was in high school, we still run Rainbow Smash right and Lucky Smash left, and I was a tight end half the time. So I do like these spread offenses, and I wish I could have played in one, but I still was in the smash mouth era, and you could definitely tell a difference in a change from the first half to the second half from y'all. The defense flew around all night long, no doubt about that, but you're right on the cramps. That's the first game I think we've watched in a while that Mexia didn't have any cramps to speak of.
And like you said, to just have one player that had some type of cramp symptoms that we could see.
Yes, sir.
And you're not only changing mentality as far as the offense, the way they're doing it, but the mentality and the fact that many of these kids haven't had to play both ways since they started playing football. I mean,
I got those numbers right now if you want me to start spitting those out too.
I know for most of us, we didn't have a choice but to play both ways. Hopefully you get to come off on one of the special teams.
Yes.
Maybe not even then, but a lot of these kids haven't played both ways since they started football. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the things that you had to talk to them about and kind of ingrain with them about how to really just change their minds and push themselves through?
Yeah. I mean, with you asking that question, heck, I was sitting there thinking, I don't know if ever, but definitely since he's been on varsity, Lamarion Miller hadn't taken a snap. You know, that was his first. I mean, we're on the, I don't know what yard line, and in my mind, we're about to score. You know, in the first snap, it's in the, I'm like, well, we understand the ball. You know, but then it's like, this guy, he's in the heat of the battle. This is his first time taking a snap in a Friday night football game. Right. You know, so it's one of those things where you start thinking, you start thinking about how these kids. In your mind, it's simple, but to them, the pressure that they put on themselves. So to answer your question, it's one of those, hey guys, relax and go have fun. You know, relax and go have fun. You know, Jarrell, that dude at linebacker is just flying. It's just flying. And I'm like, man, I think your gap was right there, but you ran out there and made the tackle. So I'm going to let you be an athlete, let you do what God blessed you to do. But have a great time doing it. And I think that's what a lot of these guys that we are playing both sides of the ball consistently are starting to figure out, and they're enjoying it because they know that, you know, and again, a lot of them are seniors. They know that, man, this is it, and who knows where this goes from here. You know, with that, all that being said, got a call today about Jarrell, and he doesn't even know this, Jarrell possibly playing defense in college, you know, because someone saw that the other night. So it's whatever we can do to help get these young men exposure and to really showcase their talent, because everybody knows how talented of a running back he is. I mean, he's already getting the offers for that. But to get word today that, hey, this school is interested in him to come play defense. Well, he's played one game, you know, and played defense a few snaps in that game, but it just shows that we have so much talent and that they need to be on the field. I mean, these kids have platooned for the past year. I know for sure 1 year, but possibly 2 years. And in my mind, I don't want to feel like I'm handcuffing myself whenever I know I got a dude that's right there that can go on the field and make a difference on whatever side of the ball we need him.
Well, one big thing that is big is injuries. Did y'all have any injuries coming out of the other night? Any significant injuries or anything? It looked like pretty much the only injury that looked really bad was number 8 for Cameron, but later in the game he was back in. Mm-hmm. But did Mexia have anything happen that's hurting us for this week against Troy?
No, sir. We didn't have anything serious. I mean, to be honest with you, the only thing we are dealing with right now is we got a little bit of a stomach bug. That's the only thing we're dealing with right now. So, I mean, we do have a player or two that I'm not sure is going to be able to dress out with us because of that. But other than that, man, we're loading the bus. We're going to Troy, and it's about to be on because we're starting to figure it out. And I love, I love the way that we practice this week, and even better yet, to talk about Troy just a little bit. Troy is a power football team. You know, you're gonna see 1 tight end, 2 tight ends, I formation. I mean, they're gonna run it right at us. They got a running back who I think he may have just committed to Sam Houston State. Yeah. So and he's really good. You know, so they got some guys that they're big up front. So for me, this is fixing to be a great test to see. So did we really learn something last week, or are we going to sit and be passive? And again, you know, as many times as we got to get hit in the mouth before we play Brownsboro, Texas, that's what we have to do to make sure that we understand how to start delivering those blows and be dominant and consistent as much as possible.
And it's funny you say that. It's the old boxing quote that says everybody has a plan until
they get hit in the mouth. That's right. That's right.
And I think that's one thing it's going to take for our guys that are, as they change their mentality, as they change and get used to it, is they're going to get hit in the mouth a couple times, but it's how they're going to respond to it. And so just off of week 1 to week 2, how much growth have you seen, and how much improvement have you seen as far as physicality, as far as knowing what you're supposed to do?
We on Tuesdays, our varsity guys, they go, and their conditioning is they drive the sled. You know, that's one of those things we do. It's you know, obviously for the conditioning portion as well as the physicality. And I kind of peeked over there at them because I was running the JV and freshman guys, and I peeked over there at them, and just to see them it was almost night and day from last week to this. It was unbelievable the way that they were driving that sled. And I know it's a sled, but still, just to understand what we're saying whenever we say come off the ball and drive that sled and be dominant. We watched them do it, and they actually started having a good time doing it. They're over there laughing, joking, and having a good time doing it. And then just about an hour ago, we were finishing practice, and I kind of got a little heated and started ripping a few of those old linemen that I know you can be dominant, and man, they started driving. They started driving some of their teammates, as a matter of fact, 3, 4, 5 yards deep. As I was asking them to do it, I'm like, that is what we need. That's what I want. So we understand how to do it. Now we have to do it consistently. If we snap the ball 60 times, now I better see 60 pancakes. I need to ask Dr. DeBuse for more money to buy more stickers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we need to be giving out stickers because we are dominating people. So that's what I want to see, and I know that we have in us. It's just the question is, when are we going to get it? I hope we get to see it this coming Friday, but if not, then guys just know that it's coming.
Well, you've been coaching a while. Do you ever lose the intensity of seeing that light come on in that child's eyes and that child? What is it like to you to see that light come on?
Man, it's great. It didn't happen. It didn't happen that much on Friday, just because I'm going to be honest. I was kind of in this mode of I want to make sure that we're everywhere we're supposed to be, because I'm not going to lie, the not having the scrimmage thing kind of jacked with me, and I wanted to make sure we had kids where we needed them, and this whole new social distancing stuff. Just all of this, So I'm going to be honest. My mind was a whole bunch of in a lot of areas, opposed to what I really wanted to focus on was that game. But they'll tell you I rip their tails, Monday through Wednesday, sometimes Thursday. But I rip them. But whenever we do great things on Friday nights, whenever I get home, both of my knees are swollen because I've jumped and yelled and cheered and everything so much because I like to see them get the fruit of their labor. You've gotten your tail ripped from Coach Avery and the rest of the coaches all week, and whenever you see this happen, what we coached you to do, you start to see it unfold. We're going to celebrate with you, and that's what I want them to start getting a lot more of. Again, I want to start shouldering those linemen as they're coming off the field for pancake, and again, it's coming. So my question to our guys is, when are you going to start showing it consistently? Because again, I've seen it, but let's start showing it consistently and go ahead and start bringing some noise to this part of the area.
Well, as we get ready to wrap it up, I guess I just want to talk about Troy, the upcoming game, a little bit this week. You already kind of mentioned it, Troy. They're going to be a power team. They have a really good running back. And it's going to be, with the exception of the actual formation, is going to be basically lining up, looking in the mirror, and saying they want to whoop us, we want to whoop them.
That's exactly right.
So, what are some of the key points that you feel are going to be keys to the game this week?
I think that physicality. I really do. I think it's going to be physicality. Like you just said, they're going to want to whip us. We're going to want to whip them. You think of Ali and Foreman, with Thriller and Manila. Troy, I'm going to call Troy Foreman just because they've been doing what they do for so long, and they understand how to do it, and they understand that physicality, and they don't have the quickness that we have, the Ali factor. So I think that if our guys will just do those little things that we're talking about, get that push that we need to get Jarrell loose, to get Trey, to let Lamarian do his thing, and to get, keep doing those things, then we're going to be swinging pretty hard and pretty fast in the fourth quarter still, and the plan is to make sure that they fall and don't get back up.
Well, we appreciate you for your time. Jeremy and I, I didn't get to sit with you last week, but I enjoyed it this week. So, I don't know, Jeremy, do you have anything else as we get ready to?
Just look forward to a win this week and improvement. Week 1 to week 2 is always the biggest improvement in all team sports. So, Coach, we come on strong last week. Let's keep rolling this week and bring back a win from Troy this week.
Hey, Jeremy, make sure you pick us this week. But anyways.
Actually, if you want to look at it, I got to pick this week.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, Coach Abram, thank you for your
Thanks
time.
for having me. Thank you, sir.
Look forward to next week.
Sir. Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Coaches Show Week 2.
Big Drip Fashion Hall is now open in Mexia. Big Drip offers a variety of the latest styles of urban clothing, serving boys and men of all sizes from toddlers to 6XL. Big Drip Fashion Hall is guaranteed to meet all of your fashion needs. Come check us out, 1335 East Milam Street in Mexia, across from Hibbett Sports.
Mexia Sports Network would like to send a big thank you to our sponsors. Some may know, some may not know. This business is funded by the owner sponsor a spot on the Mexia Sports Network. Also, your sponsor obtaining shirts for our announcers and bring you better thank you and present for your support.
Hi, my name is Freddie Gracie, and I'm a candidate for Limestone County, Texas City Council District 2. For 20 years, I have volunteered my time, energy, and leadership to serve my community. I'm a proud, fun, and concerned citizen. I'm approachable, available, and I want to serve as your next City Council member for District 2. And I approve this message.
For over 20 years, Rachel real estate in Belleville and the surrounding Ferrari can help. Visit ElizabethCFerrariRealtor.com or call 254-747-1602. Real estate market knowledge, passion for helping clients.
You're listening to Black Cat Football and Greer Time Media. Let's take it to the booth with your host, Freddie Greer Sr.
Fridays, I want to thank Stephen again for letting us set up this week. Black Cat 2020 Week 1. We also have a couple of sponsors I want to mention. Woodman Life, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Greer Media, Joe Fridays, and Subway. Speaking with Eric today, Subway's going to start. You go in throughout the week and you order a meal. You get to sign up, and on Wednesdays we're going to pick a Subway winner of the week starting next week. So go by and get your Subway sandwiches and sign up and have a chance at a free meal for the next week. We're here with Wallace High, Vance Rose, Dino Sandals, and Jeremy Sunday as we're going to start the prediction side. Guys, we got pretty much about the same amount of games. Pretty much the same team. Some went in and out, but we're going to pick our same 5 games each week in our division and local teams. Wallace, this week we're going to start over there and start with you, and then we'll go to Vance, Dino, and myself.
All right. So as far as our first game, we have Belleville versus Cameron. We got to see Cameron last week. I don't know much about what Belleville has. But I know Cameron's going to probably come out and they'll be a little more sharp than they were this past Friday. So I'm going Cameron, and I'm going to give them a touchdown advantage.
Vance, where you at?
I'm going to take Cameron 28-14.
I'm taking Cameron 27-14.
Well, we're just going to start out all different this week. Belleville's been tough for a long time down there. We used to play them quite regular in the playoffs. So I'm going to pull Belleville and pull this one out, beating Cameron this week 28-21. Next game, we'll have China Spring versus Lorena. Wallace, I'll let you start it out.
China Spring put up some big numbers last week.
Yes, they did.
And Lorena played a tough Salado team and ended up pulling out a victory. I know Lorena's got a very impressive.
Lorena played Franklin last
week.
Yeah.
Franklin. I'm sorry. Lorena pulled out one against Franklin in a good game. And Lorena has some players over there that are younger, but I think China Spring's going to keep it together and come out with a victory in this one. I'm going to go China Spring by 3.
China Spring in that one.
I'm going to take China Springs 28-21.
I'm taking China Spring 35-21.
Well, we're going to make it all around because I just believe China Spring has too much for Lorena. The next game's going to be Robinson versus Whitney. Wallace, take her home.
I don't know much about what Whitney has this year. I know what they lost last year. And Robinson's got a pretty solid team over there. So I'm going Robinson over Whitney. And I'm going to go a 14-point win there for Robinson.
I'm going to take Robinson over Whitney 24-7.
I'm taking Robinson 28-13.
Well, Whitney did score a lot of points last week, but Wallace, I'm going to tell you, in all my 4 years in high school, Robinson was a team I hated to play because they always had some big old boys. And I just think Robinson's going to be too big, and Robinson's going to pull this one out 35-21. Next, we got up Crockett is going to Rusk this week.
Right, and I don't know much about what Crockett has over there or what Rusk had. I know Rusk put it on Fairfield pretty good last week. And Rusk is at home, so I'm going to give Rusk the nod by 3 this week.
I'm going to take Crockett. I'm going to take Crockett over Rusk 28-21.
I got Rusk over Crockett 30-27.
You know, I was shocked last week. Fairfield dropped down, and I thought Fairfield would pretty much run their schedule the way they wanted to, and Rusk said not in week 1 to start with. Right. So I'm going to take Rusk over Crockett in this one, 35-21 as well. Next, we got Conley versus Vega.
Yeah, and this might be the game of the week in Central Texas. I'm not sure. I still don't think I know who I'm picking in this one. I just circled one. I have boys at both schools that are real close to me, real dear to me, and I'm pulling for every last one of them. But I had to pick, and so I circled La Vega +2. So I'm going to give La Vega a 2-point advantage in this one.
Is that 4-2? Is that what you're calling that score, 4-2?
Man, I don't know what the score is going to be, but I know it's going to be good.
There's going to be a lot of speed on that field,
yeah.
And a lot of D1 recruits will be on the field at one time in that game.
Right. That's one of those games that I think probably sold out of tickets as soon as they opened up the doors to sell them. Well, Vance, what do you have?
I'm gonna take La Vega 35-24.
I got La Vega in the shootout 28-24.
I got La Vega 30-27. Guys, this next game, I only put it on there because I actually have a good friend that has a son that's a senior that's not really close to us, but I got to watching them. And Mike, I just put this on there for you if you watch it. You told me you was going to watch it, but Mike Beacom's got a son playing for Blooming Grove. He's a senior, and I wanted to put it out there. We'll watch Blooming Grove through the year. They won last week, so Wallace, where you got this Blooming Grove Kearns game at?
I have Blooming Grove winning, beating Kearns by 17.
I got Blooming Grove beating Kearns 14-12.
I got Blooming Grove 17-10.
I got Blooming Grove 28-14. Next up, we got Palestinian Westwood versus Buffalo. Wallace, take it away.
I have Buffalo favored in this one by 10 over Westwood.
I got Buffalo 24-7.
I got Westwood 27-14.
I'm going to take Buffalo in this one 35-10.
Dino might get the upset on that one there.
Next up, we got Centerville's traveling to Corrigan Camden.
I don't know much about what Corrigan Camden has down there. We hear about them usually every football season, but they're not really close enough for us to keep up with. I saw Centerville had a tough one last week. I'm going to go Corrigan Camden by 14.
I'm going to take Corrigan Camden 28-21.
I'm going to take Centerville 20-10.
Well, I was shocked last week Centerville didn't play a tougher game against Wimberley, but I'm going to take Corrigan Camden in this one as well. Next up on the schedule was a shocker, I know, for me last week. It is good to see that team win. If y'all don't know, Freddie was just sitting down. He got up and wanted to start boxing because we're talking about Groesbeck right now. He don't understand north of the river where he's at. So, but Russ, I'm gonna is that a Black Cat shirt you're wearing, Freddie?
Black Cat shirt.
I think Freddie needs to do a guest pick on this.
Yeah,
one.
Freddie, who you got picking on this one?
Who we got?
Rice versus Groesbeck.
Rise versus Groesbeck. Groesbeck 56, Rise 0.
They're not playing Rice Krispies.
Groesbeck 56, Rise 0.
Okay. Wallace, I'm going to let you follow that one.
I actually do have Groesbeck winning pretty big in this game. Not that big, but I have them winning by 21.
I got Groesbeck winning 28-7. Groesbeck's undefeated.
I got Groesbeck winning 33-16.
I actually have Groesbeck winning this one too. They shocked everybody into this week, so I'm going to take Groesbeck beating Rice 35-7.
We put up 50 on people.
So Freddie, we all picked Groesbeck this week.
So you're buying dinner.
If they let us down.
I got you.
Next up, we're going to have Hamilton traveling to Riesel this week.
And I don't really know much about Hamilton football at all. Riesel, I believe they're playing with a little extra momentum, a little extra fight in them, playing for their teammate that had the tragic vehicle accident a couple weeks ago.
Prayers out to the family, by the way.
So I'm going to go Riesel in this one by 14.
I'm going to take Riesel 14-7.
I'm going to take Hamilton 20-14.
I've got Hamilton in this one as well, 28-14. Next up is two teams that we really don't know much about, but one of them was really upset last week, and that being Bremond. They got upset last week, and they're traveling to Axtell this week. Wallace, where you stand with this one with Bremond coming off the upset?
I think Bremond will get theirselves straight and together this week. Axtell's had some woes over the last few years and on the gridiron, so I have Bremond right now winning by 24.
I got Bremond 34-14.
I got Bremond 42-6.
I got Bremond 42-10. Next up, guys, we picked a low-scoring game for Hubbard last week. All of us was 14-13, and they hung up like 48 on who they played. So they were a little bit higher than our expectations. And this week they play Itasca, who, if I remember right, played Wortham last week. So we got Itasca traveling to Hubbard this week. And Wallace, where you stand there?
I have Hubbard coming out in this one up 7.
I got Itasca 20-12.
I got Hubbard 24-10.
Well, Itasca got blown out by Wortham last week. Hubbard blew out who they were playing, so I'm gonna go Hubbard 56-0 off Freddie. I just think Hubbard's gonna be too much, and Itasca, they were in district with Martin, worked them a couple of years ago, and they were weak. So I think Hubbard's gonna take this one. Next up, March traveling to McGregor to take McGregor on. Where are you at, Wallace?
McGregor let me down last week on my pick. So and then Mark's coming to town. So I got Mark winning by 35 this week.
I got marked 35-14.
I got marked 60-13.
You know, Freddie was talking about Grosbeck's always scoring 50, and last week Tig didn't score 50 for the first time in a long time, but they were playing a bigger school.
You mean Mark didn't score 50?
Mark didn't score 50, and now Mark's playing McGregor, and I think they're going to get back up on the 50 bubble. I got them 56-10.
Yeah, they were playing Tig, but I don't think Mark's going to leave it on all game, and they'll still probably end up winning really big. So.
Well, next up we have Wortham traveling to Rosebud as we got. I'm sorry, guys. Freddie's in the background just messing this whole show up tonight.
He's just happy that his goats are 1-0.
Freddie ain't smiled like
them this week.
Freddie ain't smiled like this since 1997.
All right, Wortham and Rosebud Lot. Wortham had a big win last week. Haven't kept up with Rosebud Lot very much, but I'm going to roll with the Bulldogs by 21 this week.
I got Wortham 20-7.
I got Wortham 28-14.
Well, you know, we were calling the game last week. We looked it up, and Rosebud had jumped up on Leon. I'm like, looky here. And the next thing you know, Leon come roaring back. So I think the Bulldogs will pull this one out. I'm going to pull them about 28-24 in this one. The next round of games is going to be the 5 teams that we have playing here in our district with Mexia. And on the top slate, we got Caddo Mills going to Bullard.
Yeah, and I had to look up Caddo Mills last week. I don't ever keep up with them. I think they have a pretty decent program, but I'm going to go Bullard by a touchdown.
I'm going to go Caddo Mills 28-21.
I'm going to go Bullard 27-20.
Well, you know, Bullard and Van were the only ones to win in our district last week. And I looked up Caddo Mills, and there's a lake over there that they're more known for than anything. And it's pretty good fishing from what I understand. But I'm going to take Bullard in this one, 35-28. Next up is Brownsboro traveling to Fairfield, and this is where we are to learn something this week.
Right. Well, I don't think Fairfield is as strong as they've been in the past. They got handled pretty good by Rusk last week. Brownsboro, not sure yet exactly how their team's stacking up this year, but I am picking Brownsboro by 14.
I'm going to take Fairfield 28-7.
I'm going to take Fairfield 17-7.
I'm going to take Fairfield in this one as well, 28-24.
Dang, I'm the lone
Next up,
this week.
Well, I learned a lesson. I won't pick against Mexia again. Coach done put the fear in me tonight. But Paris North Lamar will be traveling to Canton.
I have no idea what type of program Paris North Lamar is or has been. But Canton's in our district, so I'm going to give them the nod, and they're at home this week. So I'm going to give them a 7-point favor on this one.
I'm going to take Canton 24-12.
I got Paris North Lamar 16-14.
I'm with you. I want Canton to come in with no wins either in this district. I got Paris North Lamar winning this game as well. Next up, we got Van traveling to Malakoff.
And I think this is going to be a good one. You know, Malakoff's very strong program over the past 5 or 6 years. You know, they've made a couple state championship appearances and then deep playoff runs. Got to see some of that game from between them and Grandview last week, and it was again a heavyweight slug match. And so I think Malakoff might be a little bit too much for Van in this one. I know Van looked pretty good last week, but I'm picking Malakoff by a touchdown.
I'm going to take Malakoff 35-21.
I'm going to take Van 31-27.
I'm with you, Dino. I got Van pulling this one off 28-21. Now we're to the game of the week, which is always the game of the week for us. Guys, don't be looking at my paper over here. Be cheating off my picks here. But we got Mexia traveling to Troy. And I'm going to think
you want to start it off this week?
See who
I tell you what, Freddie said 56-0 Grosbeck. I'm going to take Mexia 57-0 this week.
I got my hair 28-17.
I got my hair 28-14.
And I got my head 28-21.
I lost a lot of friends last week on my picks. I'm hoping this week I got you back. But, you know, more than anything, Mexia lost last week, but you learn more from losing than you ever will from winning. And that team was right there to win. So they took a big jump, and I think they'll take the next jump this week. But thank you guys, Vance, Dino, Wallace, for being here to pick the games with us. We appreciate it. We're out on Black Cat 2020 Week 1. Be back next week at the same Black Cat time. Man, he done got so many messages from Grosbeck. Thank you for...
My name is Freddie Greer Sr., and I'm a candidate for Limestone County, Mexia, Texas City Council District 2. For over 20 years, I have volunteered my time, energy, and leadership to serve my community. I'm a proud father and a concerned citizen. I'm approachable, available, and I want to serve as your next City Council member for District 2, and I approve this message.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Mexia Sports Network, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, Subway, Joe Fridays, Elizabeth C. Ferrari Realtor, and Big Drip Fashion Hall.
Hi, my name is Rick Kennedy, and I'm running for United States Congress here in the 17th District in Central Texas. Healthcare is far and away the most important issue to the people of Central Texas. And while our healthcare system is incredibly complex, what people want from healthcare is really quite simple. They want access to quality healthcare, and they don't want to go broke or bankrupt trying to pay for it. That's why I support the Medicare for America Act. Medicare for America will provide access to quality healthcare for all Americans. It will provide protection for bankruptcy due to healthcare costs. It will help us rein in the cost of prescription drugs by allowing the government to negotiate prices with pharmaceutical companies, and unlike other proposals, will not outlaw private health insurance.